Hey everybody, welcome back. Well, I'm doing a favorites video and I feel like I have not done one of these in so long. I could not tell you the last time, but I know so many of you like these and I thought, you know what? I do have some favorite products I've been using, so let me share them. This time it's all beauty, I believe. Sometimes, I mix it up with like lifestyle and beauty. I'm back in my bedroom again, having to work a little bit on the lighting. It seems like it's either really dark or really bright. Hopefully it looks okay. So let's go ahead and jump in. So I feel like I've tried several new foundations recently over the last, I would say, couple of months anyway. I felt like most of March I wore the Physicians Formula, the Healthy Foundation. I really like this. I know some people don't. It's probably kind of hit or miss. I like it. It says for all skin types. I have kind of combination. I would say in the winter it's definitely more dry. In the spring, summer it starts getting a little more combination. I have it in the color LN4, so it does come in cool, neutral, and warm. There's not a ton of shades to choose from. I usually try to go for a neutral if I can. This one I still think is a little too light, but the next one looked way too dark. So it does have this kind of twist off big doe foot applicator. It reminds me of the one like Clinique, if you guys remember that. But I do like this one. I feel like it has decent coverage, didn't draw attention to a lot of my flaws like foundation can, which meaning, have like some wrinkling and then acne scarring on my chin. Like basically this whole area is my problem area. So basically if a foundation evens out my skin tone, because I do have redness as well, but doesn't draw attention to any problems, I like it. So I do like that one. What I'm wearing today, and I kind of keep going back and forth with this one. Sometimes I feel like it's too much for me. Sometimes it's okay. I find it looks better with a primer, which I'll show you the one that I've been using. So today I'm wearing the Maybelline Super Stay, and it's a full coverage foundation. It really does cover very well. I have to use very little concealer, if any at all, when I use this. I'm in the shade 120 Classic Ivory, and I feel like their shades are a little weird. I'm self-tanning and I feel like this matches me now. However, if I was not self-tanning, this would be way too dark, and I believe this was maybe like the second or third color in. So again, I feel like Maybelline, their foundations maybe run a little dark. I do like that it has a pump though. So I like this one, but I need to wear a primer. Again, I'll show you that one in a second. The newest one that I have is the Lancome Regenerate Lift Makeup. I have it in two different shades. The first one was a little dark, and this is one of those foundations. It was very, very hard to get a foundation match. I think it's just Lancome, the brand in general, but I went into Ulta. I brought with me the Makeup Forever HD because I just find that is probably one of the best foundations as far as a color match for me. So I brought that one in with me and did kind of side-by-side comparisons, and I still really had a hard time finding which shade worked. With Lancome, I find their cool shades represent more neutral. They're not like overly pink like a lot of shades can be. Their warm shades were extremely orangey, I thought, or real yellow. They were like way too warm. And their neutral shades, I didn't really find to be neutral. They still seemed warm compared to the Makeup Forever one that I have, which I find is a very, very nice neutral. So I have the colors 230, P40C, and then 255 C20N. Again, I find their color ranges to be really, really odd. But I do like this, and I found this when searching for like a foundation for mature skin that doesn't settle into fine lines and wrinkles, because I find some foundations can make my skin look drier and worse. Like my actual skin will look okay and you don't see a lot of the flaws. As soon as I put foundation on, it's like, whoa, look at all the issues I have. I don't know if you guys have that, but that is definitely a problem for me. So I really like this foundation because I found, especially right here, I'll go through stages depending on how dry or like dehydrated my skin is at the time. If I'm not maybe drinking enough water, you will really see the fine lines right here under my nose. And then other times you barely see them at all. So a lot of it's just whatever's going on with my skin. This did not settle into that, which I loved. However, and by the way, this is normal to dry skin. I don't find this to last a really long time. I actually wore this when I was in Dallas, and I had been testing out foundations for several weeks prior, wanting kind of like a long wear foundation, but that didn't accent all my flaws, which is very difficult for me. Most long wear foundations just make my skin look ridiculous. And some foundations anyway, honestly, make my skin look about like 10 years older because I have problematic skin. So tested this out at home. It was fantastic. I was like, it lasted a while. I get to Dallas. It was like my makeup was breaking up constantly. It did not want to stay on. Of course, we had some really long days, but I just felt like I was constantly having to touch up. It just didn't look as good as here. And I wouldn't say Dallas has like crazy weather compared to where I am in North Alabama. Matter of fact, our weather is very similar, and it's not like it was really humid then. The humidity was really low and it was mild weather when I was there. So I don't know what that was about. But when I was at home, I actually really liked this foundation. I think a lot of you would too, especially if you have mature skin or just, you know, problems with your skin or makeup settling in. This is a good one. Now the primer that I've been testing out for quite some time with all different kind of foundations, I think there was only one here or there that I didn't love this with, but I really like this primer. It's the Strivectin Anti-Wrinkle Line Blur Perfector Instant Wrinkle Blurring Primer. And I find it really makes my makeup last. It's definitely one of those very silky, silicone feeling primers. However, this is one of my favorites that I've tried. My other favorite, if you guys want to know, and I use this all the time, is the Makeup Forever, the one in the gray tube, the Step 1. This is the Smoothing Primer. This works really great with most foundations as well. However, I cannot make a video without the phone ringing somewhere, I swear. It's gotten to be a joke. So anyway, this works with most foundations, love it. However, I do feel like this gives a little more of that blur effect than this one. This one's more of like smoothing, pore minimizing, love it. I've used this for years. But this one does give a little more blurring. I mean, it's like one of those you can tell as soon as you put it on, even before foundation, your skin just looks more blurred. And again, I found it to work really well with foundations. I don't know what was the deal when I was in Dallas. It typically makes my foundation last longer, goes on smoother. It just wasn't having it with any of the foundations. I actually brought a couple with me. I brought my backup Makeup Forever HD, It Cosmetics CC Cream, and then this one. So I had 3 different ones because I thought, well, just for some reason, you know how that goes. You don't want to be on vacation, even though you have your tried and true, something happened. Because I feel like that happens to me. Being in a different environment, it's like all of a sudden my skin goes nuts. So those are the foundations that I've been liking and the primer. Let's talk about this lip combo I'm wearing. In a lot of my Insta stories, you guys are always asking what eyeshadow I've been wearing, which I'll talk about, and the lip combos. I've mentioned for quite some time I've really been into lip liner, and I've not even been wearing a ton of lipstick. I'm kind of trying to get back into it and use, you know, some out of my collection. But what I have on now, and I've been wearing this for several days in a row, is MAC Whirl Liner. Just lined all the way. I kind of always fill in a little bit, if not all the way, kind of at the edges, and then just, you know, fill in so it's not such a hard line. And then today I have on Too Faced Naked Dolly. You guys know this is one of my favorite lipsticks ever. I have talked about this thing to death. It's similar to MAC Flesh Pot, but I find this more wearable. This has more of a pink tone in it, and it's creamier. I just find it more wearable. It's one of those, I just pat it on my lips though, because it's one of those you can't just smear it on because it's a cream and it's very opaque, and I feel like it just makes your lips look like death and brings out all the lines. It's one of those you have to blot it off or pat it in, don't use a ton, or put a gloss on it. I've mentioned that before when I've talked about this. So that's what I have on today. No gloss or anything, just a really pretty neutral pink lip. But what I do a lot of times is I'll pick any of my favorite liners, and even if it's the Whirl, fill in my whole lip. And I've been wearing this little Laura Mercier, I believe it is Bare Baby Gloss. I found that's when I really get a lot of questions about my lips, is when I have this on. It's a very moisturizing, nice feeling gloss, just very neutral in pink color. I really like this. I would highly recommend going to get this. And because it has that nice pink tone, I like it better than the Marc Jacobs. As you can see, the two tones. The Marc Jacobs, this is Sugar Sugar. I like this, but I have to be very careful with it and almost wear a much darker lip under it, or it can make me look dead. It has almost too much beige in it for my skin tone, so I actually prefer this one. So keeping with lips, I think I showed this in a Sephora haul back, like the VIB back in the fall. This lip balm, this has become my new favorite. For years, you guys know I used that Dior in the pot and it was kind of pricey, but I loved it. Well, I felt like over the years of using it, it was just too much for my lips and I was starting to get little white bumps in the corner of my mouth, like little milia, which you can get, you know, under your eyes, and most of the time it's like over hydration or products that kind of irritate your skin. You'll get those. So I was noticing that. So I thought, you know, I need to try something else. Well, I found this, and I think it might have been new at the time. It's the Fresh Sugar Lip Caramel Hydrating Balm. I love this. If you are a sucker for lip balms, and especially if you like the Fresh brand, you need this. This is an absolute must. Now, I know some of us don't love, you know, the little pot lip balms, but I use this at night after I've just washed my face, so I have clean hands, and I put it on then. I use during the day, if you're wondering. I've used this for years. I use the Dior, is this the Lip Maximizer? Yes. This is what I put on when I'm putting on my makeup in the morning. So I just mainly use this at night. It's fantastic. It is so good. If you liked the Dior, you will absolutely love this. It's that similar, really thick, but nice balmy consistency. The scent is heavenly. I mean, it is really good. So love this. It's a must-have. Okay, so just a few more products and we'll wrap this up. For my eyes, what I'm wearing today, and again, I've gotten a lot of questions on this, and I do usually address that when I get questions on Insta stories. I'll just talk about it. This is the Urban Decay Naked Basics 2. I've had this for quite some time, but I just thought, you know what, I want to start wearing this again. So what I do is usually take this first color here, put it all over the lid, and then I will take this next color and kind of just start warming up the crease. And then I usually use these two colors. And then I also use this one as a liner. So I'll use that as a liner underneath, and then these two again in the crease. This is what it looks like. You know, just that wide, you know, blown out kind of diffused look, but just to give you a little bit of definition. So I've been using that a lot. And something I meant to mention a while back, I was gonna talk about it in the stories. I got this on a whim from Sephora, I believe. This is the Tarte Hamptons Weekender palette. Cute little thing, great to travel with. I've been using this a ton. I have it on today, and this especially I got it because I thought, you know what, in the spring and summer when you start self-tanning a little more or maybe getting a little more color, it's fantastic. So it looks like this, has a little mirror. So you get a bronzer, a blush, and a highlight. I have to say I don't love the highlight. I find it to be very powdery, and when you dip your brush in, it kind of goes all over. But the blush and the bronzer are fantastic. They are my favorite. However, beware, if you are more light-skinned than I am, it's very pigmented, a little goes a long way. So just, I barely have to tap my brush into either, especially the blush. But again, that is the combination I have on today. The bronzer is called Farmer's Market, and the blush is called Summer House, and then the highlight is Beach Getaway. But I just love this little thing, and again, it's perfect to travel with. Very, very pigmented, little goes a long way, love it. The mascara combo that I cannot stop wearing, I feel like, you know, I've kind of tried a few mascaras, and by the way, can I just say, I was very disappointed. You guys, some of you may remember the Monsieur Big mascara. I had that little sample from Lancome and it was like, it was awesome. Please tell me the full size was just as good. It wasn't. I hate to say it wasn't. Maybe I got a bad tube because most of you said it was. It was not as good. I know so many of us feel that way about small mascaras. It's like the little small ones are fantastic and then you go buy the big ones, a big letdown. So I went and bought another little small one because they have those, usually Ulta or maybe everywhere where they sell the mascara, you can get the small one. So I bought that again. But I have to say, I'm not loving it as much as I first did. Maybe it's my lashes, I don't know. I pretty much use every mascara with this primer. I have talked about this for I don't know how long, and this was in my best of 2017. This is a great mascara primer. If you've tried the Lancome and you love it, I promise you'll love this one. Maybe you'll love it even better. I've tried the Lancome. I think this one's better personally. And you can just run and get it at the drugstore. This. Talked about this as well. I think this maybe even made into my best of 2017. This is the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. Absolutely love this mascara. It's what I'm wearing now. I can get away with a couple coats. It looks great. It doesn't flake on me. Because I think the Lancome sometimes flakes on me if I'm not, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm not sure. But this is definitely my go-to. A couple of nail polishes and one more thing, and then we're finished. I just have to mention this. You guys need to go out and get this. I don't say that often about a lot of things. I feel like this video I've kind of said that about a few things, but this beauty blender, the Solid Pro Cleanser, look how big this is. Lisa SC09 turned me on to this back, I don't know, I think again it was in that Sephora VIB back in the fall, because I felt like I was going through those little regular size in the white container like constantly, because I clean my brushes with them and my beauty blenders. This has lasted me such a long time. Now I just use those little white ones when I travel, throw it in my toiletry bag. So look how much I still have. And I use this thing every day because I pretty much use a beauty blender every day, and I just go in there and soap it up and then rinse it out and use it. And I love the beauty blender cleansers because they rinse very clean. But I'm telling you, this big one is so worth it. And then again, just use those little ones for travel, because if you're like me and you felt like you were just constantly going through them all the time, get this and it'll save you. So 2 nail polishes. I have not talked about nail polish in forever, I feel like. I used to do it more often. But I feel like I have like this many little shades and a little bubble, and I kind of just go through those shades and I don't wear anything else. I've just found that I like light color polishes on me anymore. It just looks very classy, neutral. I don't have to worry about chipping. I do like dark colors in the fall, but I found even in the fall I was wearing more pastels, especially on my toes. I feel like I'll wear a bright color here and there on my toes, but I almost always have a light color. This one has been definitely a new favorite. I believe I showed this on my Insta stories. This is from OPI, and it's Lisbon Once More OPI. It is a great, almost like a hint of grayish pink. It's that great like white gray pink balance, if you know what I mean. That creamy white pink. We all love those same colors. This one's a great one. And the formula is pretty good on that one too. And then this one, I've gotten a lot of questions about this. This is the Sally Hansen Insta-Dry in the Heather Hustle. It is what I am wearing right now. Really love these polishes, and this is a really pretty color. This reminds me, the name escapes me right now, but one of my favorites from OPI. This is very, very similar. So let me know in the comments what you guys are loving this month. If you have tried any of these things and your thoughts, I would love to hear. If you're not yet subscribed, please do so. I would love to have you back, and that way you don't miss any future videos. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.